So, okay, I want to preface this. Richard Wolff is the guy that BreadTube was obsessed with and was always, no, Richard Wolff. They're claiming to be like the students of Richard Wolff, right? So I'm gonna tell you something. I've always known who Richard Wolff was for a long time. He's a no bullshit, old school, working class demeanor, temperament Marxist. He's a no bullshit Marxist. Okay, Richard Wolff is not he's not a liberal. He's not a breadtube lefty. He's not one of these new generation lefties. He's an old school OG. Now I may disagree with him on some stuff about co-ops, but he's not a politically correct guy. Okay, he's a working class. He's a fighter for the working class. Richard Wolff. He's a based guy. I've always known that about him. Now, my second debate with Destiny was actually about defending the honor of Richard Wolff, because even though BreadTube was on Richard Wolff's side, I could see that Richard Wolff is not this like BreadTube Chomsky type of guy. Okay, I know who Richard Wolff is. He's a really great guy. He deserves a lot of respect. He's a really good guy. Okay, so what did Richard say? It's not pro versus anti-vaccine. The issue is class struggle. Have employees' mandates become intolerable for employees? Record job quitting, strikes plus refusal to mask vaccine mandates say yes. Opponents of mandate attract anti-vax and right-wing recruiters. There are important recruiting possibilities for the left too. Many employees resist mandates for reasons close to why so many are quitting jobs and striking against employers. Anti-mandate movement is not all right-wing or anti-vax. Its labor militancy component deserves interest and support. It is an important opportunity to fight the right and build the left. So to me, that's just the default baseline position. There's nothing controversial about that if you're a Marxist, right? But because American leftists think that the Democrats and the Republicans define the essence of politics, guess what? Apparently Richard Wolff is also a right-wing, Nazbol, chauvinist, Republican nationalist. And according to the CPUSA, that's what he would be too. According to the CPUSA, Richard Wolff, because he said this, is actually a right-wing fascist using left-wing ideas as a vehicle for right-wing Trumpian politics. You see, this is the con we're dealing with. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question, guys. Is it really that Richard Wolff and Caleb Maupin and me and so many others are right-wingers? Or is the American left the problem, or is it people like Richard Wolff that are the problem? Which one is like the aberration when it comes to what a communist or a Marxist or a leftist is? Because you're starting to see with increasing clarity that it's the American left that's the outlier here. That's the one that's deviating from what it means to be a leftist by any international or historical standard. It's the American left that is so profusely right-wing in nature. If you go to Latin America, just culturally speaking, the right-wingers are urban, very liberal, very socially liberal, and right-wing. The same thing is true in Russia. It's true in, it's true in Eastern Europe. It's true everywhere in the world. It's true in the Middle East. The only place where the right is the left and sometimes the left is the right is America. The only time when it's the only place in the world that has this upside down political spectrum. The rest of the world doesn't. And that's actually why I was so pissed at people like Luna Oy, who were giving a false representation of Vietnamese communism, because she was making it seem like Vietnamese communists are like American leftists, and they're not. The only place in the world where the left and right are the way they are is America and America's colonies. Now, I know Germany is very similar because of the German left is influenced by America. But in Eastern Germany, where you have those OG Marxist-Leninists, they would be considered conservative right-wingers in this country. Yeah, in Greece, the left are resisting the vaccines and the vaccine mandates. So who's really the issue here? Is it that we're all falling into the Nazbol vortex and becoming right-wingers, or Is it just that American politics is extremely confused and it has people confusing the left and the right with each other a lot of the time? Because we don't even have an authentic... Here's the truth. It pains me to say this. We don't really have a political division. We don't really have politics here. The Democrats and Republicans are not a real political division. That's just an establishment that's conning the American people to swap between parties every 4 years. That's not a real political division. The only political division I can maybe point out is Trump. Trump is a real political division. Make no doubt of that. But that's not because he's a right-winger versus the left. This is not an issue of the left versus the right. The political division Trump created is a division between the establishment and the American people and the working class. It's not between the left and the right, okay? Because the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is ultimately not a real political difference, right? They're two sides of, look, it takes two to raise a family. There's a mother and a father. The Democrat is the mother, Republican is the father. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know if you know this, but these Democrats, a lot of times, you actually see that's the case. You have marriages, wife is Democrat, husband is Republican. Do you think women like Democrats or Republicans more? Which one do you think they like in America? You actually think women go with liberal Democrat men? No, they don't. Women like... Republicans are more manly. They go with Republican men, right? Republicans are phallic. Democrats are feminine. But that's not a real division because it takes two to raise a child. So it's really just a form of couples bickering, right? The Communist Party is not supposed to be the cuck who's... You know what the Communist Party is right now? So it's a cuck. The Democrats are basically sucking off the Republicans. And then the Republican hurt the Democrats' feelings. And the Communist Party is there and he's like, oh, did he hurt your feelings? And he's basically the cuck. The one that the Democrats cry on the shoulder of. That's basically what's going on, right? If you're a communist in America, you're not trying to save this marriage. You're trying to destroy this marriage. You're trying to have your own marriage. I don't care about your marriage. We are our own men. We are our own men who want our own wives. We don't want to be we don't want to be the eunuch tending to this woman. Can leftists please just stop being eunuchs who tend to other man's woman?